Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at our Thule Roof Rack system. So this includes the 53-inch long WingBar Evo crossbars, the rapid podium feet, and the fit kit for your 2019 Honda Pilot. So you got your Honda Pilot and you're ready for adventure. In fact, my best friend has a Honda Pilot for her 3 kids, and with everyone loaded up, what tends to happen is then you have the need for more space for your other accessories. So if you need to get a roof box for your adventures and cargo, or you want to carry your kayaks around, or even your roof mounted bike racks, what you need first is a roof rack system just like this. So this is going to be the recommended kit from Thule for the Honda Pilot, just because of the size of the rails. I personally prefer getting longer crossbars if possible, but this is going to give you a nice low profile look. So we'll talk about the different features, the different specs of this roof rack, but we're going to focus on our Honda Pilot today. That way you can see what types of measurements and specs are you looking for in relation to the different type of accessories you're carrying and focusing on your vehicle. The first spec we're going to take a look at is the overhang, and that's going to be measured from the end of the tower to right before the end cap. We have it at 2 inches. So overhang is important if you want to carry accessories on the outside. Let's say you want to maximize your crossbar length. With this being only 2 inches, it usually isn't enough for those clamps. Also, if you want to use a load assist device like the Thule Elevator or the kayak carriers that drop down to the side, you're gonna need longer bars for that. But for something that's low profile, this is a good look. Next, we're gonna take a look at some roof clearances. So that's gonna be 2 different measurements. The first is gonna be clearance from the roof to the bottom of the crossbar, and that sits at around 3 3/4 inches. So that's gonna be how much space you have for accessories that clamp around your crossbars. If they use wing nuts and U-bolts, you're gonna need a good amount of space there to tighten that down. 3 1/4 is actually pretty good. The next is gonna be the height added to the top of our roof. So measuring from the roof to the top of the crossbar, it sits a little bit over 5 inches. So that's gonna be where your cargo is gonna sit. If you're carrying skis and snowboards, you're gonna wanna make sure you have enough clearance for those bindings, especially if you have extra large bindings. If your carrier comes pretty close to your crossbars, you may wanna get things that have that ski lift or the extra riser. So these are the Thule WingBar Evo crossbars. So measuring for the inside from tower to tower, we have about 42.5 of usable space for clamps. Now, since these are the WingBar Evo crossbars, you also have this T-track system. So you can mount accessories that mount to that T-track, and then you can use the entire top part of the crossbar. Very helpful if you want to maximize your space. Now, Thule does something a little bit different with the tracks, so let's take a closer look at that. The way the WingBar Evo works is we have this end cap, and I really like how the end cap just flips up. Then you now have access to your T-track system. The downside to this is, well, this splits apart, so it should make it easier to mount those accessories. But over a period of time, I have noticed that this thermoplastic does get kind of stiff, and if you're mounting a lot of accessories, you might be able to take this apart. So that's just something to think about with using T-track accessories with these crossbars. So let's talk about the towers. So these use the rapid podium feet. So that gives you that stability, but also that low profile look. I do like the height it gives our crossbars, since we have low profile but still enough clearance for the crossbars themselves. You also have these tabs on the end. So that means everything is locked into position. And then we're gonna talk about the fit kit, because that's what holds the towers to the vehicle itself. So to take a look at that, let's open up the tower. You can actually replace this with 1 key system lock cores, but without those, you can use a flathead screwdriver to pop that end of the tower out. And you can see how this uses a clamp as well as a rubber foot to adhere to your flush rails. Because we have fixed mounting points on our flush rails, we have a crossbar spread of 32 inches. So that's measured from one crossbar to the other for your different accessories. They usually require a different type of crossbar spread. So double check that. You can't move this back and forth. That's gonna be your fixed point. So make sure your accessories are compatible with that spread. Now, living with a roof rack system on your car. With this being low profile, the good news is that you're not hitting your head against it as you get into your car, which actually isn't a big issue since your SUV or your Pilot is a little bit higher up. Another thing is this being flush mounted, we have a really nice and secure fit with the aero bars too. That helps decrease wind drag and wind noise compared to your round or square crossbars. So the install process is gonna be a little bit tricky since we have clamps and we have a fit kit, but I'll guide you through that process. Everything you need to install this is gonna be included, but I have some extra tools to make things a little bit easier. So one is gonna be a flathead screwdriver. That's gonna be for your tower end caps. You're also gonna need a tape measure just to make sure everything is lined up and you got good and even overhang. And finally, my special recommendation is the Moki doorstep. This goes right into your door and gives you that extra height and traction just to make it easy to install things and strap your cargo down. Now, let's take a look at that process. So the install process is going to involve 3 different parts: your crossbars, your towers, and then your fit kit. So I already installed the rear crossbars and we're going to install the front one together. The first thing you need to do is first make sure everything is in place. So here we have all our different parts. These are the caps that are in your current flush rails on your Honda Pilot. So you're going to need a T30 Torx bit to take those out. So other than that T30 Torx bit, everything else should be included. So we're gonna start by setting up the towers. The good news is that your clamps as well as your pads for your towers are all the same size, so you're not worrying about switching up the front and the rear ones. Putting the rubber pad on the tower, notice how we have that little lip there. You're gonna wanna align that with the inside of that rubber pad. So that is just gonna click into that lip. And then this tower is going to go into your crossbar. So you're going to have specific measurements on your instructions, and that's going to tell you how far out you should put this stopper. You can also adjust it once you get on your roof. Now let's put the clamp on. Then you're going to have your 2 bolts. So you want to make sure you have the barrel in the back of your tower because that's going to line up with your clamp over here. And then we're just gonna very loosely tighten down these bolts just to secure our clamp. I actually prefer not using that rubber tab, but you can use it on the outside if you want to. I just think it takes up too much room there. So with our towers set up, we're then gonna put our crossbars onto our roof. You can actually put those rubber pads and those clamps when it's on your rails separately. It's really just up to you and what makes it easier for you. I'm just gonna gently set these onto our rails. So we're gonna install the clamps to the flush rails, and they're gonna use these little bolts. You're gonna use that T30 socket or a T30 bit to tighten them down. This is your chance to double check for overhang, which is the set length from the end of the towers to the other side of the bar if you didn't use the measurement on the inside. Once that's secure, you're then going to tighten down the clamp on top. So this is going to use your special security Torx bit or hex wrench, and that's just going to tighten down there. Once you have those clamps fully tightened down on both sides and you double check that everything is all nice and secure, your final step is to put your end cap on your tower. So those should just pop in. I actually have it in the unlock position. There we go. And then lock it down with a flathead screwdriver. If you're using the 1-key system lock cores, you switch them out right now. But once everything is in place, that's it for the install process. You're ready to hit the road and load this up with cargo. So my personal thoughts about this system is, if you're a huge fan of Thule, this might be a good option for you, especially if you're utilizing their 1-key system and you have those extra lock cores to match with your other Thule accessories. Now, the downside for me with a Thule roof rack like this is definitely going to be the T-tracks. As useful as it is that the T-track or the weather strip splits apart when you mount those accessories, over time I have noticed that they do tend to wear down. A system that does this, the same thing but a little bit better, would be an Thule Roof Rack. They have it where you just push down on the rubber strip, you mount your accessory, and I have not noticed any wearing down of the rubber that they use for those crossbars. So definitely check out our different roof racks here at eTrailer to see what types of things you like, what you don't like. That way you can get the best fit for you, your cargo, and your vehicle. And that was a look at our Thule Roof Rack kit for your 2019 Honda Pilot. That included our 53-inch Thule WingBar Evo crossbars, our rapid podium feet, and our specific custom fit kit for your vehicle.